Rock 108, it's Ned hanging out here in the studio, and I have, let's just say, one of the most legendary metal vocalists on the phone with me. I've chatted with him a few times. We've talked about burgers, we've talked about video games, and now we're talking about the fact that he is jumping on the final tour with Slayer, hitting Moline here pretty soon, actually next month, and he's going to be playing some classic tunes. I got Philip H. Anselmo of the Illegals on the phone with me. How's it going, man?
What's going on, Ned?
Not too much, man. Just hanging out, and you enjoying your wonderful Louisiana heat.
I'm enjoying it because it's about 55 degrees, and it's our first true cold front all freaking year. So I'm digging it.
So you get to turn off the air conditioning. You just kind of get to relax and open the windows and get that nice breeze going on.
Air it out, man. And yes, turn down the freaking air. Finally, man. Yes.
Then the electric bills can finally start to go down, too. That's my favorite thing about it.
Well, then, we're in agreement, sir.
There you go. Well, of course, Phil Anselmo and the Illegals heading out on tour here with Slayer on the final tour, along with Ministry, Primus, and you guys, man. And what's really cool about this tour is that you're performing hits from Vulgar Display of Power from the Pantera days. Now, what inspired that going on?
Well, shoot, man. It's been a long year, and I guess to recap for you and the listeners, I think that the Illegals, we were just about to hit the road in support of the Choosing Mental Illness record, and oh man, just a couple weeks leading up to it, we found out that Vince died.
Right.
Vinnie Paul died, and anyway, aside from the misery of all that,
yeah,
I got a lot of requests from people. You know, hey, do these songs, do some of those old songs in tribute. And man, with about 2 weeks to spare before we left, my guys crammed, and really, we've gotten better and better and better all year, and we've been around the world, man. Australia, Central America, South America. We've done maybe only 3 United States shows.
Yeah.
And we've been to Europe. We were in Europe this summer with this whole package where we would do some illegal songs and some Pantera songs, and certain nights we would just do the Pantera stuff.
Okay.
So, I guess actually that's where we ran into Slayer in Europe, and they watched one of the sets and they loved it, and man, they demanded that we come out and we play the Pantera songs, and hey, that I will do that, and hey man, what Slayer wants, Slayer gets, Jack, and I'm happy for it.
Yeah, man, you'll be playing some big arena shows coming up here pretty soon. That's got to be an absolute blast. I mean, you've been doing the rock festival scenes too.
Heck yeah, like you say, I mentioned earlier, we went to Europe, and that's the big festival season there in the summer. I guess Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say Alaska. Jesus Christ.
That's fucking cold, dude.
Totally different. No, Australia was club shows and maybe a handful of festivals. Hard to remember at this point.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we've been doing it all this year, man. Been a big year. Been to South America twice.
That's nuts.
I'm going to say it right now. South America, they are wearing the crown as far as heavy metal audience.
Damn.
They are the kings right now.
Dude, it's I've always wanted to go. I mean, I've obviously been kind of landlocked here in America, but I've always wanted to go across seas and see some of these massive festivals like Hellfest or any of the ones around like the France area, dude. They've got to be nuts, especially as a performer.
They're great. They're incredible, and it's, you mentioned Hellfest. Hellfest is taking care of me and all of my bands for, almost over half a decade now.
Yeah.
I think it is over half a decade now. I've played there with every band that is almost any band I've toured with. I've played there at Hellfest and then some. You know? So big thumbs up to all those Eurofest and especially Hellfest.
You have this other album here called N Minor, and it's such a different sound from what we would expect, out of Phil Anselmo. It's got it has keys, it has bass, cello, drums, whatever it may be. What kind of got your sound going with that?
It's actually the oldest project I've ever done. Some of those songs I wrote back when I was just a kid, and they've morphed over time. And I guess over the years, different groups of musicians have gotten together with me, and we've written songs, and we've expounded on the old songs, and they've just grown and grown and grown. And now it's like, dude, I guess my biggest thing was I didn't know how people would take to it, so I guess I was a little uneasy about releasing it, but I'm 51. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, man.
So, it's like if anybody is into what I do and the music that we all write together, and me and all the great musicians I've jammed with, it's like, it's a different expression of music. I love doing it, and God, I'm chomping at the bit because the full length is finished. The N minor full length is finished, and I can't wait just to get it out, man.
Yeah.
Because we have another one after that, and another one, and we just got a lot of material, man. So
yeah,
it's exciting.
That's very exciting to hear, especially with more stuff coming. And what you just said a little bit ago about how you just don't care. I mean, you care, but you just don't care what people think. I think that's so refreshing, especially with today's social media world and how angry people are at shit. And it's just you know what, man, you just make what you want to make and what makes you happy, because everyone out there is so busy just being angry about shit,
Yeah, and that is real true. And I just think people are going to stick to what they believe and always clash with other people that believe different things.
Right.
And that's the beauty of, I guess, freedom and America. We can disagree.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree. And the last thing I'll say on this is that it's so easy for me to make music and not even bat an eye at what other people think, because I don't go to music sites.
Oh, man.
I don't go. I don't go. I don't go to the sites. I don't know what anyone is thinking about. Nothing. I just go and play my shows and dig it one day at a time, Jack.
Absolutely. Because, man, if you go to any YouTube comments or any one of those websites like Blabbermouth or something like that, it's nuts. It's absolute nuts. So you're doing yourself a mental favor by not going to any of those sites.
Agree, because I've seen it, I guess, affect people around me for sure. People who I've seen people who sit there and are just, I guess, glued to those comments.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, what an evil invention. And it does. It riles everyone up. And if you're reading that shit all day, I can see the bad mood, coming from a mile away. And it's like, you know what? You don't need to sit there and fucking read it. There's plenty to do. Sorry about cursing. But
no, dude, no worries.
There's plenty to do in this life, instead of, I don't know, man. Computer world, I just got to take breaks often.
You do. You absolutely do. And I mean, with Facebook and whatnot too, man. If I didn't have to use it for a job,
I've never done Facebook. I don't even know what it. I know what it is, but I don't care.
Exactly. Yeah, and you're probably so much better off without that shit.
I do see it though as a societal sickness, though. I do see it. I think it's unhealthy.
Yeah, it can be, man, especially if you kind of stick around and start scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And then people have such a defense mechanism behind the thing. They feel as though they can say whatever they want and have no repercussions about it at all.
Well, that's freedom of speech for you. And
right.
But also I know that because people feel like they have this anonymity and that they're just another name, another username on
right.
a platform.
Oh, yeah.
know, the threats and all that type stuff, it's really cowardice, man. It's weak.
Yeah.
It's weak shit, man. And I'm not a fan. I just it feels petty, and it just feels weak, man. So I stick to boxing websites and football websites, man. It's NFL season.
It is, man. And you're still loving your Saints, if I'm correct.
You're damn straight.
Damn straight, man. Well, hey, we'll get off the social media thing. I want to ask you a couple more because obviously you got a couple more minutes left here. You're going out on tour here with Slayer. Everyone who's not listening right now, Moline, get your tickets right now. What made you decide to do the vulgar display of power stuff?
It's not just vulgar display of power, man.
Oh, it is. Okay. All right.
It's a bunch of different tunes from most of the records, I would think.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're doing, man, and it's great because I get to play these songs,
Yeah,
to youngsters and new blood out there that grew up in a house of parents who listen to Pantera, you know. So,
yeah, man.
yeah, it's true, man. And hey, the new blood's great, the old blood's great. I like it. Unite it, man, and jam it together.
You know, that's one thing when we go to shows around here too. Like even like Disturbed was in town recently, and one of the things that people always have that stereotype of heavy metal or rock or anything like that, it's a bunch of dudes in black t-shirts. You know, that's all they do. But when you go to a rock show, it's amazing how diverse the groups are, how many families and kids on shoulders that I see is it's so cool.
Well, I think heavy metal is still its own animal. I think it is what it is, and heavy metal fans are just they're out there. You know what I'm saying? Heavy metal is still underground to a certain degree.
Oh, absolutely.
You know.
Yeah.
And that's there you go, man. That's why people come out to the shows in droves and in families.
Yeah. It's cool. I mean, I don't have kids yet myself, but at some point I know they're going to be wearing like a old school Pantera shirt that I've had for years, you know, whatever it may be.
Bring it on, man.
Hell yeah,
I
man.
love it.
And I'll close out on this because I always like asking this kind of thing. Obviously, you just mentioned you were 51 years old, not to make you feel old, but that means you turned 50 about a year ago. So what did you do on your 50th birthday?
Oh, man, my wife threw me this huge freaking party, man. There had to be, oh, God, over 200 people there. And, man, they set up this big video, like a giant movie screen, and they played all of my heroes and freaking all of the heavy metal singers and boxers and Saints players and stuff wishing me a happy birthday, and it was beautiful, man.
Oh, dude, that's so cool.
If I sat here and named all the names, I'd leave somebody out, and I don't want to do that. But man, just the overall love that I felt, man, from my heroes, man, and I do mean in the music world too. You know, it's just amazing and surreal. You know,
Yeah.
so it was a great party, man.
Hell yeah, man. That's so cool. Actually, you know what? I'm going to mention one more thing to you. I actually asked you a bunch of years back what you would do if Pantera ever got inaugurated or enrolled, whatever you want to call it, to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But you see that whole situation with Motorhead and Mikey D and
What happened?
Motorhead's up for induction, but they are not including the longest running members of Motorhead. They're going to put Lemmy, obviously, but they didn't put Mikey D or Phil Campbell in it, even though they were in the band for 15 plus years. It's just like the Kiss thing.
That is strange, man. And that's why would they not do that? You know, I don't shit. And that's why I've never even really thought about it. Probably the last time I thought about it was the last time you interviewed me. You know, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, for me, it's like shit. Just give me a gig in a small, sweaty-ass death metal club, and I'm happy.
That's why I love you, Phil, man. You're real. That's what it's fucking is. You're fucking real. And that's what's awesome.
If I'm going to leave behind any legacy, just, hey, man, I call it like I see it. And fucking, man, yeah, man, I am that dude you can bump into on the street and we can talk for 20 minutes, you know?
Yeah, dude.
I like people, man. I get along with everybody. So, hey, I love it, man. I love love.
Hell yeah, man. We appreciate the hell out of it. So check out Phil Anselmo and the Illegals playing tracks from Pantera at the Slayer's final tour in Moline. Going to be in November. Tickets on sale right now. Get your tickets. Phil, dude, it's so cool hanging with you. Thank you so much, man.
Oh, man, bless you, brother, and continued success. And let me know when you get the wife, you and the wife, get a kid going. Because I want to see him in that Pantera shirt.
Fuck yeah, dude. That'd be so cool. I'll let you know, man. Absolutely.
All right. Much love to all of y'all and everybody out there, man.
All right, good, Phil. Thanks for talking again, man. I'll talk to you very soon, hopefully.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, later, dude.